if the Earth was round, you seriously couldn't ride a bike because you'd have fallen down. If you go north, you have to push 400 watts, and if you go south, you have to be able to coast. I should be able to coast all the way back to Adelaide from Cairns. I'm in Northern Australia. If I want to go south, I should be able to take my hands off the bars and coast all the way 2,000 kilometers home, but I can't because the Earth is flat. If the Earth was round, I could get away with using square tyres instead of circle tyres. These tyres are round, but this top tube is flat. Yeah.
Do you know when our Lord said that Satan will have the whole world deceived? Do you know what that is? Say it a little louder. What was it?
No, it's a good question.
Do you know? A lot of people I answer that question, and a lot of them can't answer me.
I'm speechless, honestly, to tell you the truth.
But well, I'm going to tell you the answer. When our Lord said that Satan in the latter days will have the whole world deceived, that's because the people think we live on a spinning ball flying through space. But meanwhile, the earth is flat. But did you know when our Lord said that Satan will have the whole world deceived? Do you know what that is?
No.
A lot of people don't. I didn't know either for a long time. But the secret is that it's the biggest lie in all mankind is that Satan has the world. In other words, all of us think we're living on a spinning ball, flying through space, and that's not true.
Really?
We live on a flat, domed, stationary Earth. Did you ever hear when our Lord said that Satan will have the whole world deceived? Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Almost what's going on right now these days.
Yeah, that's part of it, but what's the big part of it? What's the biggest lie in all mankind?
What was that?
The biggest lie in all mankind.
The biggest lie of all mankind.
Do you know the biggest lie?
What you got?
It's Satan tricking us that we live on a spinning ball flying through space. And that's not true. We live on a flat, domed earth.
Okay.
The biggest lie is that Satan has the whole world deceived that we're living on a spinning ball flying through space, and that's not true. We live on a flat earth,
Okay.
and a movable flat earth.
All right.
Did you ever think of that?
I hadn't really crossed my mind, to be honest with you.
When our Lord said that Satan will have the whole world deceived, do you know what that is?
When Satan will deceive the hearts of many.
Right. That Satan will have the whole world deceived. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
It's in other words, Satan tricked us thinking we live on a spinning ball flying through space. And that's not true. Like the sun and the moon are in the firmament. The sun and the moon are the same size, and they go around the dome. And above us is heavy water. That's why it's blue.
So I just want to be very clear that I don't think that people need credentials to be able to discern what objective reality is. So I just want to put that up there up front. I responded, or I requested over the YouTube video because Steve McRae asked for flat earthers who had credentials. Now, I don't believe that's necessary to discuss the flat earth, but I do have credentials. I studied mathematics and physics, majored in both. I have an honours degree from Glasgow University. We were all born into the claim that we live on a spinning space testicle, and we find these claims absurd after we looked at them very closely. So we are not here to defend the model. We don't have a belief in a specific model. We think that what you are claiming, that we're living on a spinning ball, is nonsense, absurd, and infantile. And so we have no model to defend.
They have no model to defend.
Dale, did you want to add anything onto that before we jump over to the other side?
It's absolutely preposterous for real people born into this situation. So just as Gav says, the globe is absolute bollocks.
Gavin and Del constantly claim that the Earth is flat. Del constantly makes the claim that the atmosphere must be contained. So I believe that they do have a model. It's not very fleshed out, but they have a model.
All right.
Their model is that the Earth is flat and it's contained.
Gav, do you accept the fact that pressure is different at the base of a mountain as it is at the apex of the mountain? Do you believe that they're the same pressure, or no? Are they the same pressure? I'm not asking you. Are they at the same pressure, or are they not at the same pressure?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a pressure gradient.
What are you talking about?
That's why I didn't ask you the question. That's why specifically why I didn't ask you the question. You don't understand the terms of something.
I've lost the relevance of what you're talking about, Steve.
Do you want to answer the question, Del?
I'm trying to explain to you. I have lost the relevance of your question. I don't know what you're meaning by it.
Then why'd you want to answer it? Why'd you want to answer a question you didn't think was relevant?
That depends on your terms and definitions of a pressure gradient.
You're really how you want to define pressure gradient? Do you accept as a pressure gradient from the base of a mountain to the top of the mountain? Do you accept that there's different pressure there?
Yes, I accept that medium gets rarer as it goes up further, but what I wanted to say was we can talk about definitions of pressure and the terms and the terminology that's used to define pressure, and that would be something that we would need to dive into, because when you guys bring up things like pressure gradients and you're assuming things like space exists, which I deny.
Are you claiming that space doesn't exist?
There is no proof for a space. You guys are making claims and you have no proof for it apart from visible images.
Fucking incompetent knobs. That's why. I've no patience for fucking stupidity. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs.
From somebody that couldn't define pressure.
It's an absurd claim to think that water can bend and conform to the exterior of a shape. So could you guys practically demonstrate how large standing bodies of water can do that? And I know you'll probably want to invoke gravity, which is going into mathematics from Isaac Newton. And I don't think we should go there, because what we want to see is a practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water.
If I show you something in reality that shows you to be full of shit, would you believe it?
Yeah, if you can demonstrate something practically to me, yes. Well, yeah, you've got to be kidding me, right? You're showing me videos and images of yeah. Are you guys really not understanding this? Is this so? Are you guys so incredibly dense? Show me.
Actually,
tell me how I can prove to myself that we can bend water. Well, maybe I'll ask it slightly differently. At what radius of the Earth does water start to bend? Could you give me a mathematical formula for that, please?
A mathematical formula for when water starts to bend? If you want to go ahead and broadcast your intellectual dishonesty to everyone, be my guest, but I'm trying to show you evidence that you are asking for.
How can you or what would be an example of a demonstration or proof that they could give you outside of the, if you're not willing to take the video, what type of evidence are you willing to take? Because obviously we can't go out right now on this show and show you water bending. So if videos won't do it, what are you looking for in terms of evidence?
Show me bending water. Tell me how I can go out into reality and bend water.
Hey, Gab, you're asking me to become a fucking waterbender from Avatar. It doesn't work like that.
This is bizarre.
Wait,
this is where Dale Rage putting. It's kind of strange because. Wait, this is where Dale Rage putting. He's rage quitting. Yeah, yeah, Dale rage quit.
Where we start singing that goodbye song because I'll start dancing.
I'm going to leave this. Kyle, I'm disappointed.
Sorry, get a refund from whatever school you went to.
Yeah, we're bringing in 2 other flat earthers that can actually maybe have a conversation because all these 2 want to do
get a refund.
Gav.
Get a refund, Gav.
You guys are a bunch of sophist wankers and you've got absolutely nothing. Yeah?
If you were able to get your ass kicked by some no-name kid from Florida, you need a better education. I'll go ahead and ice myself here, Gav.
Talk all you want.
Gav, I will ice myself here. I am a fucking nobody from Florida. If I was able to easily debunk your fucking nonsense, what does that say about your educational level? Get a fucking refund and come back when you actually have something to offer. Shithead.
Over 200 experiments that prove the Earth is flat. There's not one proof that it's a spinning ball. There's over 200 proofs that the Earth is flat. There's not one proof that we live on a spinning ball. Not one. And our Bible tells us, we'll find it out now, that in our Bible, there's 200 verses that say the Earth is flat.
Really?
Right now, they say there's 200 verses in the Bible that say the Earth is flat. Like in Genesis 1, Samuel 2:8, Job 9:6, Psalms 75:3. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And above us, when you see the blue sky, you know why it's blue?
No. Why?
Because it's heavy water. That there's over 200 experiments showing that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
There's not one experiment that proves it's a spinning ball.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And in our Bible, we're finding out now, there's like 200 verses that indicate that the Earth is flat and motionless.
Yeah.
You know, it's in I don't know if you read the Bible, do you?
Yep, every once in a while.
Did you ever pick up that the Earth was flat in it?
Yeah.
Even in the book of Genesis.
I've only just started doing my church stuff again.
There's over 200 experiments telling us and showing us the Earth is flat. Over 200.
Really?
Yes. If you research it like I did when I found out 2 years ago. And there's not one experiment proving that it's a spinning ball flying through space. There's over 200 experiments proving that the Earth is flat. There's not one that proves we live on a spinning ball flying through space.
All right.
And I'm saying, did you ever think that maybe if it's flat, we might fall off it?
I guess it really hadn't crossed my mind.
So I'm going to introduce you to clouds as a dependency of flat Earth. So, if the Earth is flat, if the sun and the moon are 3 to 5 kilometers above us inside the dome, then the clouds must be in proximity to the sun and the moon. And we can observe this every day. Every single day we can go outside, day or night, and we can see the moon or the sun interacting in close proximity to the clouds. We can even see the sun inside masses of clouds. Sorry, I gotta get over here. Excuse me. We can see the clouds all around the sun, okay? So just a little bit of thinking there. If the clouds are right there with the sun, how hot's the sun again? Pretty damn hot, right? Like, pretty hot. So if it gets pretty hot in close proximity to the sun, and if the clouds are water vapor, then why do they not evaporate? When we think about that, all of a sudden the dependencies of the globe get shattered. Magical gravity doesn't pull the clouds down, even though they must weigh tons. Water vapor does not stay water vapor for very long. Once it comes together, it becomes water. I mean, we know this. We can experiment and we can do this on our own in the yard any day of the week. A simple test to that is to get a sponge, you know, just a little sponge, soak it with water, put it out in the sun, and then put a glass or something, you know, clear bowl, whatever, over it, and watch what happens. Well, what happens? What we see is we see condensation form on the inside of the glass, then we see little tiny drops appear, and then we see bigger drops, and then drops run down the sides. We don't see clouds form inside the glass. We don't see fog happen. It just doesn't happen. So that tells us that it's not true. What we're told is not true. Critical thinking 101. Come on, people. The clouds are supernaturally created, just like the sun and the moon. Just like our flat domed earth. It's just that simple.
If the earth is flat, could you please explain why everything else within our solar system is not flat? Well, that's what I asked.
The question I'd ask anybody asking that is, how do you know that those things are spherical?
I didn't say they were spherical. I haven't given them a shape.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if we live on a flat earth, fine. Can you please explain why all the other stuff is not flat?
All those things that we see in the night sky,
yes,
are just points of light.
Okay.
Yeah? When you actually zoom in on them with a camera such as this, yeah, with a high zoom, you can actually zoom in on them, which is a bit suspicious because they're supposed to be 2 quadrillion miles away.
Yeah.
With an 83 times zoom, there should be no difference. Yeah. So literally, when you zoom in on these stars and planets, they're not you know, perfectly circular objects. Yeah, they're actually all unique. I don't know, things. I mean, one looks like watery fire, another one looks like electrical discharge, another one looks like an amoeba, another one looks like wheels within wheels. You know, they're...
So then we are in agreement that the Earth is flat, but all the other things are not flat. They have their own different shapes, which you've given. Oh, we don't know.
We don't know.
Oh,
they're just lights. As far as we can tell, they're just lights.
Bo, is Earth flat? Come on, give us a little clue. Just one clue. Is Earth flat? Come on, Bobo. Tell us. We know you know the answer. Come on now. Come on and tell us. Is the Earth flat?